Might work. There we go. That's a better microphone. So it decided to cut out in the middle of my last session, it seems. So I'll try to make sure it doesn't do that this time. But welcome to, I think, what is going to start to probably be known as like extra average data discoveries. Because here I'm going to be taking sim racing telemetry data, which I create during this video, and I'm going to be trying to get it into Power BI to see if it will give us some cool data that we can work with and see if I get any better at sim racing using what I'm actually good at, which is reporting and data and analytics. So, first and foremost, sim racing telemetry is the organization that's making this possible for me. I purchased their product, and I purchased it for both iPhone and for PC on Steam, and I'm able to use it to get sim racing telemetry from my games. So far I have Automobilista 2 and Assetto Corsa Competizione, which I'm getting data from. I also bought their F1 2023 package, but I have not used that one just yet, although I plan to. So, why am I testing today? Well, I'm testing because I happen to remember that about a year ago or so, I bought a setup from these folks, gosetups.gg, for my Porsche 911 that I have in the game. And I guess my subscription, my 1 year subscription expired recently. So when I tried to go back in, it wasn't available for download anymore. So I went ahead and purchased it one more time for another year. And now I have sessions for what I bought was the entire bundle. So I have setups for every single track in ACC. So I'm going to be using the setups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a couple of laps in practice with a standard setup, the one that comes with the game, and then I'm going to switch to the Go setups to see if I'm a bit faster. And the entire time I'll be collecting data with sim racing telemetry. So the cool thing about this is that you can actually, if you can't for some reason use it on your PC, you can actually purchase this app for your phone. In fact, I have it for my phone, and you can actually just record as long as you can connect your phone to Wi-Fi, to the same Wi-Fi that your machine's on. You can still get your telemetry data. So from your phone, you can see all the charts, all the graphs, all that cool stuff, and you can export the CSV as well, just like I'm about to do. So I don't have any ACC data yet, but here you can see in Automobilista, I do have some sessions recorded, including one that I did yesterday during a video. And so I'll be doing one for ACC now today. So what I'm going to do is click on ACC, and then I'm just going to say record a new session. And it's going to just wait for data to come through. Now I'm going to have to come back here and stop the session when I switch over to my Go Racing setup instead. And then if I have some time, I'll squeeze in a quick race perhaps and see if that works out for us. So hopefully I'll get 3 sessions of data. When it's all said and done, here's what yesterday's report looked like. I had about an hour to create a report or so, and in that hour, I created a quick report that shows race position for each lap. I thought this was brake pressure, but it turns out it's probably something else. I will speak to the fine folks at Sim Racing Telemetry to see if we can get some more information or clarification on that. And then we also have fuel by lap and track temperature by lap. And then we have a couple of filters on here so that you can focus on specific laps, or you can view your entire session. And here it switches to gallons and Fahrenheit for those of us who are not as apt and can't easily calculate liters and Celsius that quickly. So my goal here is to have enough data to complete another one of these reports. But the catch here is I'm going to see the difference between the two setups. Is my lap time faster? Am I able to get up in the rankings or up in the grid a lot faster? Am I wasting more fuel, less fuel, that sort of stuff? So I'm pretty excited. Other than that, I have a couple other reports that I've created in past session, including things like F1 team journeys. So how far teams travel during the course of a year. This was using the F1 calendar for 2023. It has some location data itself. And then I also have some basic statistics that we created in one of my past data discovery sessions, which is, I think, nope, that's teams activity. Here it is, F1 stats. So what I'm going to try to do is take some inspiration from these reports, and I'm going to try to use it for the ACC data. So we'll see how that goes. And I think we can jump right in to ACC. All right. Let's make sure this camera works, because yesterday I had an issue with it, and no, it's not working again. Oh, nope, there it is. Okay. Now it's working. That's good. So we'll be able to see what my wheel has. This is the SF1000 from Thrustmaster, and I'm just using it as another camera. So we're going to first run hot laps with our 911 GT3R in standard setup mode. So let's get our standard setup going. And we're going to go to setup. And then we're just going to make sure that our standard setup's the one that's loaded. Here it is. And once we do have our data we need, like 5 or so laps, then we're going to go ahead and jump back in and use one of these safe setups. Probably not the E, because that's like the E-Racer very aggressive setup. We're probably going to use one of these safe setups. I'm actually not too sure what each one of them is. I think they're version numbers, Q and R. So we'll try R and see how it goes. But first and foremost, let's try recording a session. And let's make sure that Sim Racing Telemetry is on. It is waiting for a connection, so it should be good. Let me go ahead and get in here. There's the car bouncing around, which means we are good to go. Hopefully this microphone cable doesn't get knocked out of the way here. Seems like it did last time. So I'll try to monitor that. Make sure that my mic is still on. Okay, let's jump in. All right. So it's been a while since I've been at Zandvoort. So we'll see if I'm
track temp is
if I'm
37.
okay.
The air temp is 30 Celsius.
And let's give it a shot. 5 laps or so, maybe 3, depending on whether or not I'm able to get some good laps in. So let's give it a shot. We're gonna do one quick warm-up lap. We're gonna get some heat in the tires and brakes. And again, my goal is just gonna be see if I can collect some data on whether or not the setup actually improves my time. It's kind of interesting because I've never actually, wow, yeah, that's a good start right there. Fantastic. I've never actually used the setup that I'd be looking at. So hopefully I can get used to it fairly quickly. I know setups sometimes are difficult to get used to. So let's see if I'm any good with it. Apparently I'm not even doing very well with standard setup. I might have to refamiliarize myself with Zandvoort. It looks like that one is a past me. Well, I can't be too garbage. And top of 3rd gear means we brake there. this new chair that I attached to my Next Level Racing FGT. So I'm having to get used to the angle that I'm at because it's a very aggressive angle, which means I don't have a lot of room to turn the wheel. I'm having to take a portion of my hand off, and that's not fun. Okay, and let's try to see if we can go for a hot lap or an aggressive lap. Ooh, I guess a bit too aggressive. Let's wait for the line here and into first. And out we go. I'm not using the entire track, which is not very good, but let's see how it goes. Like I said, it has been a while since I've been on this track, really in this game. I'm spending a lot of my time in Automobilista 2 lately, so I'm not super familiar with ACC anymore. The physics is very different. The force feedback I get is very different. But one thing I do remember is that the Porsche 911 is always trying to kill you in this game. It is very unforgiving. And it's a very different driving style that I have to have. That's a very good. It's a very different driving style that I have to have with this car. Throttle is super important to control. You want to not try to apply any brake or throttle during your turn. Just keep everything consistent, because otherwise it will not hesitate to kill you. Or try to anyway. A little glitching. That's not good. Okay, so that's one lap down. Let's do a few more. And we'll stop our session.
Lap time was 142.04.
Go. See if we can actually get a clean lap this time. As I hit the rev limiter.
Sector 1 time's okay.
That's a good sign. Thanks, Jim. Third gears when we brake. Oh, that's too much brake. And that's a bad lap.
Mind these track limits, please, Andreas.
Yes, thank you. I will do my best. It has just been quite a while here. Let's see if we can get back into the right mindset. But hey, again, we always have our "we're just collecting data" excuse. And let's try to get a clean exit. That was down. Have a good lap in. And of course, not a clean exit. But we'll try to get a clean lap. Hopefully, my microphone setup is a little better than it's always been. Usually there's like a lot of clicking from the wheel and lots of ambient sound, but I think I finally got it to be maybe not perfect, but at least not terrible. Hopefully I can get my driving that way. Not perfect, but not terrible would be a very good middle ground for me. I just did a cut and no. Maybe I should stop talking about that. we'd all be happy. You wouldn't have to listen to the sound of my voice all the time. And maybe I can concentrate.
Sector 2 is 1.8, off your best.
In a straight line, then we release the brake and turn. Alright, so that's 3 laps so far, and I've only got one good one. Oh my god. I really do have to stop talking. Alright, I'll stay quiet for 1 lap and see if I can get something in. Let's find out.
The lap time was 1:44.52. You're currently 2.5 seconds off your best.
Okay, not terrible, but not perfect.
That's your fastest
It
lap
is my
today.
personal fastest lap today, I guess, or whenever. We're just going to do one more lap, maybe a cruiser. Seems like I'm ahead, so maybe I can try this one too. Maybe we can get some good data.
Sector 1 time is good.
Ooh, that was some slidey section there. And will it hold? It seems to have held. And that was an issue. Just when things are looking up, Porsche reminds you that it's in control.
Sector 2 is 0.6, slower than your best.
Thanks. He says it in like a semi-condescending tone. Oh, that was terrible. And there I am in front of myself. And I make up any sort of time right here. Whoa, I totally can. Alright, I think this is enough data.
That was
Come to a
142.00.
safe
Sector 3
stop.
is 0.40,
That is
slower than
not
your
safe at
best.
all.
Your brake temperatures are okay.
Alright, so let's grab that keyboard. Hey, stop. There we go. Okay, so let's grab our keyboard. And we're going to switch back over to our racing data. So here we have lots of data, and that's great. We're going to go ahead and stop this session. And we have a time attack session at Zandvoort. Fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and record a new session. Actually, let's take a look at our file and see if we can find one. let's make sure that we can actually see our data. I think it's in here. In the sim racing one, sim racing telemetry. No, that's my McLaren. Let's see if I can find it here. $12.16. I'm looking for a 1224 file. So I need to make sure. Nope. Oh, that's why. It's because I haven't exported it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this session. Then I'm going to share and export to CSV. That's what I want to do. Export to CSV. And now we're waiting. It's going to ask us where. And I'm just going to say ACC underscore Hotlap underscore. No, it's ACC, then track Zandvoort, then the track, no, then the car, 911 GT3R, hot lap, standard setup, STD setup, and today's date, 12/24. Happy holidays to anyone out there watching. All right. Okay. So the session was exported. Now we can see it if I go find it right here in my folders. I can just right click and open in Notepad++, or you can say open with Notepad++ or Excel, whatever you want to do. And here's our data, lots of it. That's a really long file. So what I am not 100% sure of is, does all the data always have the same exact columns depending on the game, or do some games produce different files or different file types? We'll find out once we try to import it into Power BI, if we do. So let's give that a shot. Actually, no. Let's record our next session. So our next session is going to be with our Go Racing setup. Record a new session, then we hit start. We go back here. Actually, no, that looks like it's already recording data, and I don't want that yet. I want to go return to garage, confirm. Now I can start recording data. Record a new session, start. Okay. And we're going to go to setup. We're going to load and save. Let's head back over to our game. And hopefully, let's make sure that we can see our camera here. Yep, looks good. Okay, so I'm going to choose, they have wet setups. This is a wet setup. This is the E setups, which are the E-Racer like professional, because they are professional sim racers, and they develop those setups based on what they use. So I'm going to use the standard ones, the safe, and we'll use R. R sounds cooler. I'm really not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the FAQ what they mean, but I can't recall at the moment. I'm not sure if it's like a version number where they say this is version Q, version R, but we'll just load the R setup. Okay, so now we are on the R setup. We're going to go back, and we're going to continue. And let's put our gloves back on. And hopefully we can get some more laps in. Make sure our mic is plugged in well. Yeah, it looks like it's fine. All right, I am not sure what happens here, if I'm going to be terrible at it, or if it's going to... Oh, no, see, that's the same session. I want to restart my session. I want to stop recording sim racing telemetry. So I'll need a second to do that. Stop. And then this one I could probably delete. Let's see. Looks like my headphones turned off there for a second. Okay. Can I delete this one? Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And now we're going to restart, confirm. And now we'll start recording session data. Record, start. And now it's waiting for us to drive. Actually, let's go back to our setup and make sure. We're going to return to the garage, confirm, setup. Let's make sure we have the R setup loaded. This one, load. Okay. Now we go back. Make sure we're recording. Yes. And we go back into ACC. And now we continue. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. A little slidey, but the tires are cold. Definitely, wow, more planted. Let's get a little bit of a hot lap in here and see.
Sector 2 is 0.6 off your best.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to get a feel for what sort of changes this setup brought us. And it just feels so manageable. It feels really good to control. A lot less uneasy. Wow. Part of me is like, it's just a placebo. No. I mean, I'm even being a little bit sloppy. And okay, there now it's reminding you, the Porsche's reminding you who you're messing with here. Not bad though. I think I'm a fan already. I can be a little sloppy and still kind of get away with it. It feels really planted. It really does. I'm not even. Okay. Let's see if we can knock a lap out. I'm gonna go quiet a little. See if I can concentrate.
Your last lap time was at 141.44.
This is good. That's all I'll take. Brake, brake, brake.
Sector 3 times okay.
A little squirrely in braking, or hard braking anyway. Overall, good stuff. Good stuff. Like I even messed up there and it was very manageable. I think with my standard setup I would have been on the wall or in gravel or something. I like it.
Sector 1's quick.
That's squirrely again. This is just classic 911. Oh, are you comfortable? Yeah. Let me make sure you know who boss. No, it just kind of threw me for a loop there. It was very happy to let me know that even if I think I'm in control, I'm not really. It was very interesting. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can use this setup to maybe brake a little later, get on the throttle a little earlier, and see how it works out for me. So this next lap's gonna be pretty aggressive and I'll probably end up in the wall. But it'll be interesting. I really like this setup.
That was 141.59. Sector 3 is 0.7 off your best.
Let's see how this one goes. It's a little too aggressive, I think. It's a lot here. It's so aggressive. I'm used to shifting up at a particular point of that straight, and I had to shift up way earlier. Hopefully I didn't cut the corner. Wow, it's good even under braking. It'll turn. Such a good setup. That bump there, I have to try to avoid it, but I can't. Alright, maybe next lap we can get a good lap, and this one doesn't seem like it's a good lap. It's just a little too confidence inspiring, this thing. Look, 2/100 of a second, or 2/10 of a second back, and just in one turn I was able to gain like 4/10. That's just bananas how much confidence this setup inspires in me.
That lap was
I'm gonna break a little late here.
That puts you 0.28 off your best.
There we go, yes. That was me being way too aggressive.
You're outside of track limits there.
That was me being way too aggressive. Alright, let's chill out a little bit here. Alright, we're gonna do one more cruise lap. And finally we'll do one push lap and see if I can even get a race in. Or at least part of the racing. Oh man, it's just... It really makes you think you can brake later than you probably can. I just have to get used to it. But it's such a good setup. The car just feels way more planted. It feels way more manageable, which is why I was surprised with the Porsche. It never felt manageable to me. I've always felt with this car that I was just kind of along for the ride. And if it decides to make a corner, then it will. Otherwise, kind of like we're going into this wall. But with this, it's a very different feeling. at least with the save setup that they created. Just that, with the save setup they created, it really feels like you can extract so much more from this car. Just lets me push so much harder into each corner without biting back. I just really have to get used to this. I think where I enjoy this setup probably the most is this last corner that's coming up. It just lets me dive in.
Is 0.47 off your best.
That's probably something to say because now it's showing me that that's not the case, sir. Get back in your lane. I think I've just kind of had it by now. Luckily, we kept it in the line so we were going to get a valid lap in, which is good. But this is pretty crazy. I should note that the lap I was kind of battling against was actually like my second lap in this session, which was better than my entire session without this setup. Keep it together for the rest of this lap. I know I said I was only going to do one more lap, and this is it, but we are almost half a second ahead.
Sector 1's quick.
Yep, I see that. What's going on? As long as I don't bin it here. Could this be the lap? Where I thought I wasn't even gonna finish it, and we are 3/10 of a second up.
Sector 2 is a 10th off your best.
And there it goes, Porsche reminding us, no, you thought. No, and even with that mistake, I'm still somehow ahead. Let's keep it in third. See if we can just get a crack on this throttle and stay ahead. It looks like we can. Wow, that was a terrible lap and still somehow better than the best lap. Oh, I really like this setup. Okay, let's head back out and save our CSV. I'm trying to find a safe place, but really it doesn't matter because this is in practice. I think I can just hit pause there. There we go. Okay, that was very interesting. For sure the setup is quite confidence inspiring, so I'm very happy with that. It makes what is normally a very hard car to manage just quite a lot better. I almost couldn't believe how much better it was. Let's go back to sim racing telemetry, and there you can see tons of data. We're going to stop that too. Wow, that was interesting. So here's our latest one. We don't want to delete that. What we want to do is go in, and there's purple. I am a fan of that. I like the purple. Okay, so we're going to do export to CSV. And let's make sure it exports. Okay, there it goes. So I'm going to just click on this guy because it's exactly the same. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to say go setup. And then I'm going to say safe R, I think R01. I want to say safe RO1. It's not the wet one. It's not the Q, and it's not the E. E, as they mentioned on their website in the FAQ, is the rough one. It's the professional level one. And for like for an average person like me, extra average, literally, is the safe one's absolutely fine. So I'm going to stick with that. Okay. All right. So we exported successfully. Now, let's try to set up a quick race. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not running out of time here. Okay. I have to go pick up some food with my family in about 30 minutes or so, maybe 45. So hopefully I can get a quick race in 15 minutes, and then maybe a quick Power BI report, or at least the start of a Power BI report, and I can just continue it during another stream or something like that. Hopefully we can do that. All right, so let's give it a shot. We're gonna head into record new session and hit start. And now we're gonna change this over to quick race. We're gonna race through the night, so the temperatures are gonna be all over the place. This is gonna be really good. 24 opponents, aggressiveness 99, skill is 90, and starting position about midfield. So it should be pretty fun. Let's confirm that and then head in. Gotta make sure we load our setup, which is the same setup that we had before. Make sure this microphone's okay. It looks like it's all right. Setup, load, and we're gonna load our setup. I wish there was a way that we could see. Oh, there's the setup. Okay, it is the setup. Great, that's cool. I didn't realize it was up here at the top. I was looking at it. All right, so it looks like we're there. We have our setup that we need. This sim racing telemetry recording is waiting for it.
The track temp is 37. The air temp is 30 Celsius. 15 minutes. You'll need to get on with this.
I will need to get on with this. Thank you very much. We will do our best. All right, let's get our gloves on first. I would put my harnesses on.
The track temp is 37. The air temp is 30 Celsius.
These harnesses here, but I think it's a bit too hot. Why the harnesses, you ask? Well, when I went to college, my major was actually in robotics, and so, or part of my major was in robotics, and I am fairly certain that using xsimulator.net as a backbone, I can build my own motion sim. I'm going to start with fans, like wind simulation, and then I'm going to move on to motion, so we'll see how that goes. But hopefully I can do that this upcoming year, and I might be able to blog about it and just write tutorials about that sort of stuff. So we'll give it a shot. All right, setup again. Make sure we have our setup. Load. I don't know. I'm very new to setups and using them, so I want to make sure I'm using that setup. All right. And we'll hit start.
15 minutes. You really need to get on
Formation
with it.
lap.
P11.
And here we go. Is this camera good?
The track temp is 39. The air temp is 31 Celsius.
All right, let's head out. Wheel is nice and snug. So I'm going to be doing a lot of this. Let's get some tires in. Hopefully not crash. My brakes are also very cold, so I'm trying to warm those up. There we go. Look, my brakes are on bottom right corner, you'll see green tires, and then you'll see these smaller squares in between them. They're turning teal right about now. Those are my brakes and my brake temperature, which hopefully sim racing telemetry is also recorded, so I'll be able to see my brake temperature during the formation lap too, which is good. Alright, so looks like my tires are cooling down again. You see a little bit of teal, that's them cooling down, so I'll make sure I'm nice and warm. Even though it's a rolling start, so it's really not too bad. And our goal for the very first lap is going to be to try to, I don't know, get in for like 3 to 4 positions by the first corner. That's usually the key to having a successful race when you're coming from midfield and trying to get to the top. So I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. I'll pull a little bit of a Max Verstappen here and stay like right next to the car.
Follow car number 45.
I'll follow that 911. And let's see how it goes. Hopefully all my equipment stays intact. If you look over here to our left, you'll see the body there. And try to get in front of them. Trying to get some temperature in my tires. Otherwise they're going to just cool down. I got to stay in formation, but that's priority. Okay, so press the brake in a little bit and then go full throttle. Try to manage our brake. It's easier to modulate the brake than it is to follow for me.
Alright, Andreas. Nice and neat. Stay out of trouble. Go!
Alright, let's try it. How's it gonna go?
On your left.
Can
Hold
we
your
sneak
line.
in?
Still there.
Looks like we can.
Hold your line. Clear left. On your left.
Ooh, almost hit him.
Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line.
Make sure we don't turn into this. Oh
Clear
no!
left. Right side.
Almost.
Still there.
I was very lucky
Still
that
there.
they were watching
Clear right.
so much.
Your start's okay. We can build something from this.
Alright, so we only gained 1 position here since the start. Try to do some dive bombing to get ahead of this Audi. Like that.
Car left. Hold your line. Clear left.
The track temperature's decreasing.
Oh, wow. Hey,
Car left.
that's...
Clear
We
left.
got some work to do, it seems. The setup is a bit too aggressive for cold tires, it seems. Alright, let's take it easy. Now we're back to 14.
Left side. Hold your line.
I'm a bit out of my element here.
Hold your line.
No.
Hold your line. Clear left. Left side.
Get past this
Clear left.
person. Ah, one little mistake. Yeah, we're back 3 places.
P13.
That's not good.
Left
And another
side. Clear
mistake.
left.
Oh no. Oh,
Okay, Andreas.
wow.
The next car is Cooper.
Yeah, here's my penalty. I just gotta chill out for a bit, I think. We're just collecting data, right? That's what I'm supposed to say. Just collecting data, folks. This is normally how I would race. But it looks like I'm just going to struggle here to stay midfield. I'm just not used to the
Car
setup
left,
quite
clear
yet.
left.
Oh, there it goes again. Oh, man.
On your right.
Break.
Car left.
Wow.
Clear left.
No. I should have gone back to my standard setup. This is just a bit too much for me. And as a very average person, even with their safe setup, I'm just out of my element.
Right
Maybe
side.
that's the only negative of this type of setup is
Watch
that
your line. Clear right.
it just inspires way too much confidence in me. And the car seems forgiving, but it's really not, as you can tell.
On your left.
Alright, I am
Clear
dive
left.
bobbing. And stop doing that, please. Oh, I can't
On
stop
your
it.
left. Clear left.
Alright, looks like the sun's going down. The track temperatures
Track
will
temperature's
cool down
falling.
at
It's
this
now
point.
24 Celsius.
Yeah, there's Jim telling me that.
16th place. Come on, get your head back into it. Keep it smooth. Focus on these lines.
Braking a little bit too early.
Air temperature's decreasing. It's now 24 Celsius.
Let's stay outside of this. Looks like they're in a little battle here. 15th place, 14th place. Maybe I can use that to slipstream and gain an advantage.
Left side.
There we
there.
go.
Clear left.
Nope.
Your
Turn
brakes
left,
getting
right.
pretty hot. Good pass.
Chill out. It's just so difficult to chill out with the setup. It's so nice.
Left side. Clear left.
Gear away there. Otherwise I was going to rear end that Aston.
Okay, Andreas. 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. Keep
Hold
digging.
on here. Give me a look.
New fastest lap for Aldo Ready. 141.00.
Here I might be able to.
Car left. Hold your line. Clear left.
Yes. Okay.
Nice
I'm
move, mate.
so happy to
The
get
gap in front has increased. It's now about 3.0. 14th.
Track temperatures are cooling down. I have to make sure I watch my tire temperature. Like I did not earlier.
The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 22 Celsius.
That was going to be my fastest sector run.
Air
And
temp's
it is
falling.
night
It's
time.
now 22 Celsius.
Pretty quick.
You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now
go.
0.9.
I went into first gear, that was a mistake. I will look at the data and probably see that at this section of the track, I just should not be in first gear. As far as I remember, first gear is only this last chicane here. And the first corner, P1. Tarzan, whatever it's called. It does look like I am on my fastest lap, even with those mistakes, which probably says a lot about the prior laps and how absolute garbage they were. It's a shame that only now am I coming into my element.
We just
all chance of
141.68. Good lap. That's your best
getting
in
up
the
to
session.
podium and are out the absolute door. But maybe we can sneak a P12 here. Just to continue our battle. This is not a race with a pit stop, so I don't have that to my advantage. I don't have multi-class to my advantage like I do in AMS2, where trucks basically work for me. So this will all have to be me if I'm trying to get up to P12. First gear isn't so bad here. Hello. Hello. I am dive bombing
Left side.
from probably
Still there.
a
Clear
billion
left. On your left.
miles away.
Still there.
Oh, hi.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Okay. That was a bit less difficult than I thought it was going to be. Maybe because they gave me space. Maybe I didn't deserve that space, but that was my fastest lap by a very small amount, but still fast. Let's see if I can catch up to this Honda NSX here. Come on. Gimme. Oh, I am overextending my abilities right now. I'm just so desperate to get in front of this person. There's a sign that I'm maybe trying a little bit too hard. There was my chance
Okay,
of getting
Andreas,
this lap.
5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. They'll every corner. Let's take whatever chances we can.
You heard him.
That's the fastest lap for Honda already.
Taking chances
114.78.
is something I'm very good at. Usually they end up in absolute disgrace. But hey. Well, I think we got him on the straight. Let's be patient and use the slipstream.
On your left.
Oh yes.
Still there.
Oh yes.
Hold your line.
Squeeze him in a little bit.
Clear left.
And there we
Good
go.
stuff. Keep it coming.
I will do my best. However, it is tradition with extra average sim racing that happens. That exact thing that you just saw is tradition. That I just completely
Car
mess
right.
up
Yellow
the very
Clear
last
right.
lap.
Car right.
And
Green
so
flag,
you're
you're
welcome.
Clear right.
You're welcome. You got to see one of the many spectacles that I'm capable
Brakes are
of.
pretty hot now.
Yeah, brakes are pretty hot. You don't say, sir. You don't say. Did I have to call it? As far as, hey, I know I'm doing well, but usually goes south around the last
Okay,
lap.
Andreas, don't let this guy distract you.
He's not distracting me because I'm distracting myself. Now we play the game of what word is Jim going to use when we end this race? Something like, what a disappointment. Let's go home, something like that. What a shame. The Gordon Ramsay line. I'm just going to take every chance I can get here. And that's what happens when you do that. Alright, let's get him on the straight. And let's see what we can do here about this first
Car
corner.
left. Still there. Hold your line. Clear left.
P14. Well done, mate. That was great.
Alright, if I don't do anything absolutely idiotic, I might be able to sneak in P13. I am currently on my fastest lap, but that is probably due to my fuel level being much lower than it was. I'm not out of
Just 2 minutes left.
balance.
2 minutes to go.
I can hear you. It's a beautiful McLaren, it just needs to be in my rear view now. I want to see your headlights. Make that happen. Including getting in your strip swing and passing me right here. Oh, this is a terrible corner to pass. But I'm
Hold your
gonna
line.
do it.
Hold your line. On your left. Hold your line.
Hold my line.
Still there.
Kind of squeeze him in there
Clear
too.
left.
There we go. Alright, let's make sure he can't get in our slipstream. By rocketing away and hopefully not going into the grass. Yes. He's in our rearview mirror.
P13.
This is the final lap now. 2 more laps. And I'm being sloppy again. Can I not just keep it together? 2 laps. Is it too much to pass myself? Wow, the sun. Yes, you are seeing that correctly. That is the sun, and it is every bit as annoying as you can imagine. I'm on a slow lap right now. Really, I'm just trying to keep as consistent as I can.
Air and track temps are increasing. Air temp is now 23. Track
hey,
temperature
that's
is
our
now
opponent up there.
23 Celsius.
I'm over the crest. Lap. Let it go. I can do my best to catch up to this. Oh no, we're done. This was the last lap. The meter has finished. Checker flag is out. And P13. Wow,
13th place.
that was a
Okay, we're
successful
done.
data collection session. That's exactly what that was, and nothing else. I was just trying to make sure that I could go back a couple places and still be okay. That's all that was. It was totally not me trying really hard to get up the rig. Alright, it's a cool down lap. I'm just going to pull over somewhere. That stretch looks kind of gravelly. And then just get out of here. Well, there's my wheel doing stuff. Okay, we are going to save this replay. And I believe I have about 20 minutes before I have to go. So we're going to save the replay. Right here. And is that saved? I'm not sure. I guess. Yes. And we are going to return to garage, and we'll go ahead and quit, just so there's no crazy sounds coming our way. So now, let's see if we can go back to sim racing telemetry. We will stop our data collection, and there's our race. There's our race. There's our race data. Looks like I got a purple sector 2 at lap 5, green sector 3 and lap 9. The very last one. Yeah, I guess I was trying to catch up to that last one. And then green sector 1, my best sector 1 was lap 8, it seems. Okay. So let's go ahead and save this data, export to CSV. And we're going to say this is the go setup, but it's a race. Instead, race. And it looks like it's saved. It exported successfully. Now, let's go ahead and quit ACC because it requires a lot of CPU power, which I have a medium spec rig. So my PC's kind of, it's okay, but it's not too great. So I don't want any resources being hogged away from Power BI. So let's take a look at our data that we finally collected. Let's see if I can maybe put some music on here. Lower it a bit. And turn it back up. Is that even on? No. Let's see. Some lo-fi stuff. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now let's take a look at our data. This is our race. Is it our race? No, these are 2 hot laps and then a race right here. So let's see what this stuff looks like in Power BI. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I had actually already created a report for this, and it is right here. This was for Automobilista 2. It was Brands Hatch, and it was with a McLaren MP48. I did that yesterday. However, this is a completely different game, completely different car, completely different track. But the test here will be, are the data sets consistent throughout the games? Do I have the same exact columns, or do I have the same exact fields, data types, all that stuff in my data set that I did before with Automobilista 2? We will check it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Power BI, which will probably take about 3 years, considering Power BI hogs so much memory. Okay, so I'm going to open up Power BI, and what we can see are the last reports that we've been working on. This is the one that I want to open right here. Redirect. Oh, this is like a browser. I don't want that. I want to open this report here. And what we're going to do is we're going to steal it. We're going to make a copy of it. So I'm going to save as. And normally I just start from scratch. That's really what the point of these videos are, is me starting from scratch and giving you a complete start to finish tutorial. However, I only have about 15-20 minutes before I have to go. We're gonna pick up some food. So I gotta be quick about this and just get confirmation about whether or not the data works and it's consistent throughout games. So let's give that a shot here. Let's open up. The way Power BI is doing it these days is not fantastic. Yeah, we'll just save it anywhere, I guess. File, save as. I'm gonna save a copy over to let's call this SRT for sim racing telemetry, and we'll say Porsche 911 GT3R at Zandvoort. Setup analysis. It's called setup analysis, and we will hit save. No, we have to pick a folder first. I guess there. That's where we're going. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check to make sure that the title changed, which means our file was set up successfully, and that's great. So we won't lose the existing version of the report that we had from yesterday. That one's going to stay live. So what are we going to do? We're going to tell this data set here, which already has our Automobilista data, we're going to switch it to use our ACC data instead. So to do that, what I'm going to do is right click on this and say edit query. And once I do that, I'll see my query up here. I'll see a couple of applied steps. If you're very familiar with Power BI and you use it quite a lot, you'll see that this applied steps area looks a bit strange. I didn't do a lot here. Usually folks who use Power BI heavily, or at least folks who use data transformation in Power BI heavily, you'll see a ton of steps applied here. They're changing columns, they're making new columns, all sorts of stuff. I don't actually do that. The reason I don't have a lot of stuff here is because I'm a database administrator or data architect, etc. I do all of my transformations, or at least as many as I can, I do them in SQL Server. So I actually load the data into SQL Server first, and then I do all my transformations there. Then I bring it into Power BI as more of a presentation layer. It makes my reports a lot simpler because I don't have to keep redeploying reports when I want to make data type changes and all sorts of other stuff. And I'm just way more familiar in the SQL Server environment. I've been in the data space for about 12 years using Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle for about 10. And it's just a lot easier for me to do my work over in SQL Server and Oracle and the database side of things, and use Power BI as mostly just a presentation layer. Part of that is because I had to deal with an application called Crystal Reports. Now, Crystal Reports, for those of you who are not familiar, is a very interesting reporting platform, which was very good for its time, but very painful to use because it was very unforgiving, very similar to the Porsche. Very good, but very difficult to use, and is not afraid to try to kill you. Crystal Reports was infamous for, like, you'd be on the last little bit after having done like 3 hours of work, and it would just suddenly quit on you, and then you'd have to start right over again, possibly after having an adult beverage. Anyway, so we're going to go up here to the source, and we're going to look at all this, and we're going to say, oh, look, here's the file that we have, sim racing telemetry exports. We don't want that one. What we want is to move all of our files. Oh, nope, actually we are in the right place. Instead of sim racing telemetry exports AMS2, let's bring in our race setup, which is this one right here. We're gonna just take this file name, copy it, and then just swap this guy out here. Swap it out. Paste. And now we have same exact directory, but a different file entirely. Now, what's that going to do? If the files are indeed exactly the same, regardless of what game you're in, there will be zero difference, and the report will simply refresh. The data will look a little bit weird and we'll have to adjust it a bit, but it should be absolutely fine, and we'll just have to rename our data set. So what we're going to do is we're going to just first click this checkbox right here, or press enter, and just make sure it loads. And look, it loaded. We can see our Porsche now. We can see the track at Zandvoort, the track length, and all that good stuff. It's looking pretty promising. I feel kind of confident here, so I'm going to go ahead and change the name of the data set as well to ACC Zandvoort. It's two O's. Zandvoort Porsche 911 GT3 GT3R 2023-12-24. We'll call this one race because I would like to bring in my other two as well. But let's focus on this one first. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter there. Filtered throttle. I had to go and ruin it, didn't I? Filtered throttle. Not found. Looks like this is okay. Can we refresh? Filtered throttle not found. Okay. Well, let's just remove this step then. Okay, it looks like the data's still good then. Oh, so maybe filtered throttle is a column or field that's not available in Assetto Corsa Competizione ACC. So maybe I'll have a chat with the folks at Sim Racing Telemetry to see if they can confirm that. But it looks like we're creating our connection. Let's lower the volume a little bit of our music. I'm really not sure if it's too high. Okay, so not terrible, right? Not terrible. We're not showing a lot of data, and that's not fantastic, but at least some stuff like the lap number came through, the vehicle, the track. It does look like the data is different for each and every game. Maybe not everything, but enough to break this report. So I will have to make sure that I do a version of these for each game that I play. I'll probably have to do a completely different one for F1 2023, and that'll be absolutely fine. That happens all the time with data sets. Two very similar data sets from the same organization or company or whoever you're getting them from might be completely different, and that's okay. They're both good, and we can manage. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up yesterday's version of the report just to see what I had on here. This report is not affected whatsoever, and it is absolutely fine. It's not going to break or anything. Remember, we saved a separate copy of that report over here. So let's take a look at this grid, and it'll tell you right here what broke. It'll absolutely tell you what broke, and I'm fairly certain that this issue is due to the lap. Is lap valid is a field that I created whether or not the lap was valid. So I'm going to remove that, and look, we have 3/4 of our table is still here. I guess 4/5 of our columns are still there. What's broken here? You can just check them, and it'll tell you what's broken, and then we'll just remove it. And then here, I'm willing to bet that it just needs one of these parameters here. Yep, the field's parameter is just needed here, and that's okay. We can make that happen. No problem. All right, so first, let's take care of this guy. Is lap valid? Let's search for valid. Is lap valid? It's right here. What's wrong with it? Let's remove this. Okay, what's wrong with this field? Okay, maybe the data just looks a little bit different. We're going to pop over here to the table view, and we're just going to take a look at the valid field. Or actually, what I like to do, instead of looking at it in there, you can absolutely do that. We're going to create a new test sheet down there, and we're just going to drag it in. Why is it failing? Right? Valid bin, lap time invalid, and valid bin. And this formula, if we click on it, we can see that valid bin is 1 or 0. So we are going to look at this valid bin and see what's wrong with it. Let's see. So I just need to fix this really quick because I do have to go and pick up some food. So what's going on with this valid bin? Why is it not happy? If it is equal to 1, what are you doing? Okay, let's try a new function completely and see, because that should still allow us to be created. I'm going to say is lap valid equals if valid bin equals 1, then yes, else no. Is lap valid 2? Let's call it is lap valid 2 because it yelled at us there for something being created. Is it because we're using... Let's see if we say yes. Let's see if we put that into... Yeah, okay. So it looked like the best way to resolve that issue was just to say, is this text value equal to 1? So what I did here by adding the quotes here was just convert everything into text. And it's weird because I feel like the files should have been identical enough for Power BI to absorb it. Sometimes these are the little tweaks that you need to make. So because I fixed it there, I'm going to go ahead and apply the same exact fix to the original column. And now it shows us the data. So that means this test column that we created, we don't need that anymore. That's just clutter. So I'm gonna delete it. All I did was use that to see whether or not I could apply the fix outside of everything and still get the data I needed. So I'm gonna put is lap valid back over here and say is lap valid. All right, and now we're gonna add it over here to our table too, because we needed it there. Is lap valid. Great. Hit enter. Oh, that's, I added like a tick mark there. So double click, save that. And there we are. So the laps are valid. We have a lap number. We're ordering by the lap number. If you wanted to order by the race position, you could do that as well. But I'm going to order by the lap number. And you can see that I was holding pretty steady here. I was actually increasing my position maybe once every 3 laps. Is this -1, 0, 2? Okay, we got to invert this x-axis, it seems, because the lap is actually supposed to go from beginning to end. Or I think stuff's just coming in as a text. That's just really weird. Yeah, let's see if we can turn the lap number, instead of text, we're gonna go ahead and make that a number. And then we'll say yes, we're okay with this change. They're all numbers and we know that. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Race position 13. Yeah. Lap 0. Lap 0, lap -1, I was in 0. Somehow I was in second place, but that's kind of weird. So I'll see why this 2 happened. I was never in second place. Boy, do I wish. But here, I was in 13th, then 15th, 14th, 13th, 14th again. After a slip up, we can kind of see when I had my issues there on the track, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so then we're going to say, whatever this was, let's go over here. Brake pressure by lap. Maybe we can say brake. Brake disc. Front brake bias. Sure, let's bring that in and see if we can grab some data. Brake. And then we'll make this a whole number as well. It seems that a lot of stuff just got converted to text, which is not a lot of fun. Maybe if we say maximum of brake. Yeah, maximum and minimum. So we're gonna switch this to average. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna switch to average brake pressure. It has to be brake pressure. Brake pressure. Average brake pressure by lap. Okay, so again, we are going to make sure that our top and bottom y-axis values are here, so they are, and now we can see that our brake pressure is pretty consistent with a little bit less, it seems. Assuming this is brake pressure, it could very well not be, and that would be silly, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so let's change this over to ACC. Race analysis, and then we'll switch the logos up a little bit later. Let's fix this fuel stuff. Let's look at the fuel here. Fuel in gallons. Okay, so we have our fuel in gallons. Oh, I think what the issue here is, and let me prove it to myself, I think the issue is that we had a fields parameter that's allowed us to switch from imperial to metric, and that might not be the case anymore. No, it should still be the case. Let's see what happens when I do this. Yep, it's just... Okay, I'm going to go back and remove that. I hit Control Z a couple times. The reason it's not showing is because it still thinks the fuel is a text value. I'm going to go ahead and click on fuel and change it to whole number. I think that's all we have to fix here. Yes. I'm pretty sure that that's the issue. And I'm going to say what our maximum fuel or minimum fuel was. 104 lead. Oh, I think I have this game set to never run out of fuel, or always maintain the same fuel amount. So that might be it. And then let's look at track temperature. And let's set that to whole number as well. Decimal. Let's see if we can get it to be a decimal number. I'm not sure what it was before, and maybe we need to do that with fuel as well. So we'll click on search for fuel here, and then we'll switch it to a decimal number just to make sure. Nope, it didn't really do much. It's just a consistent 104. I'm willing to bet that that's why. Okay, track temperature by lap. Here we can see about when it got dark, because that's when the track temperature dropped, and then it started coming back up as the morning came, as the sun rose. So that's pretty cool. Okay, it looks like all I have to do is change the logo here. So let me go ahead and Assetto Corsa Competizione logo PNG. Let's search for PNG because those are transparent. I like that. Yeah, let's have that. That one's good. We're gonna save the image. We're gonna save it as ACC logo, and then let's see if we can bring it back in. This looks like it's saving as a JPEG, which is interesting. I hope it doesn't show up with like a bunch of background data. Let's find out. Hopefully it still has a transparent background. It sure doesn't, but we're gonna go ahead for the sake of time, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna miss my window to head out to pick up food soon. Oh no, it did have a transparent background. That's good. Okay, so ACC race analysis. Can we switch back to Imperial? We're gonna hold Control down and click on Imperial, and there we go. Yep, we have 27 gallons of fuel, and then we have our temperature here in Imperial units. So there we go. It's that easy. If you watch my tutorial from yesterday on how to create this report, then now this report, all it does is allow you to switch over your Automobilista data, or maybe even F1 data, over to ACC. The only trouble we ran into seems to be that everything converted to a text. And I'm sure there's lots more columns here to explore, but I don't have time, unfortunately, to test those out. I will be doing that in the coming days probably, but this data is a lot of fun. I'm super happy that I'm getting to know and learn about the data, because I want to make sure I use it for my benefit of getting slightly better at sim racing. So in the coming streams, I'm going to go ahead and be comparing my standard setup to my Go setup, and maybe have a race with the standard setup, a race with the Go setup, not just hot laps, and put everything together. And I'll probably start involving SQL Server in here as well, maybe from the comfort of my data rig, which is in another room. So let's go ahead and save this, and we'll publish it out to my workspace in Power BI. We're going to publish it here to my workspace. And the cool thing about this is now you can see this on your iPad. You can have it on the screen if you want. You can have it on your phone and just go through and analyze everything. If you'd rather have it in Excel again, then you can export it back. I don't see why, but maybe you just want a subset of the data, not all of it. So I'm just going to click on this button here, and it'll take us to our report out on Power BI's website. Here it is. I can filter on it. My vehicle's good. I can still filter on the number of laps if I just want to see laps 2 and 3, or laps 1 and 2, and the last 2 laps I can see that. And we can switch from imperial to metric. There it is. Looks like everything's perfect. I'm very happy and very pleased to see that, because that means we're going to be able to analyze a lot more rather than just spend time building these reports over and over again. So hopefully this is helpful to you. If you happen to catch it at a later date, for anyone who joined in, thanks very much for doing so. And I hope everyone has a happy set of holidays that are upcoming. And hopefully I'll see you next time.